Okay, we're back. Let's see if I get us another feed. I was having some issues. I don't know. Everything's like wonky. But we got it. WCNC. Let me see.
According to at least one of these law enforcement sources who have shared information with NBC News, the U.S. Deputy Marshal apparently went into surgery and is fighting for his life. So sounding like that could be a grave situation. Once again, this information not from CMPD. We are still waiting a full update from Charlotte Mecklenburg Police, and we are told that we will get a heads up before that briefing will take place, but yet to hear any concrete time for that briefing.
In the meantime, traffic has been affected. We had a number of closures, including the interstates, which are miles away from the actual scene, but they just wanted to effectively bring in first responders as quickly as they could. So 77 was shut down for quite some time, KJ, but that has since reopened. We have other streets that are beginning to see a little bit of movement now, but it is still quite tough out there.
That's right, Jane and Vanessa. We have seen some relief on the roads over the last half hour to about 45 minutes now. But around 2:15 or so, a quarter after 2, that's when roads were starting to be shut down, especially some of those major roads such as I-77. A large swath of I-77 was shut down, but that has since reopened. Right now, we still have that ongoing emergency situation out there. But seeing from the scene out there, some of our traffic cameras as well as those reports coming in from Austin, Jesse, Kaylin, we're certainly seeing traffic is moving here and there, but still a little frantic. But as you get or have to travel near the hospital system, say Novant as well as Atrium, you may want to avoid those areas or be prepared to be redirected if we do have some lane closures, some road closures, some roads still may be blocked by some of the hospital systems. Meanwhile, we're seeing some road closures. This perhaps may be updated at this point, but Eastway Drive at the plaza, some of these roads have since reopened, but we still have that touch and go, slow traffic. Traffic is moving slowly through some of these areas, especially over in East Charlotte and South Charlotte right now, due to this ongoing situation. But let me show you the maps and you'll get a clear picture of what's happening in terms of delays out there. So we are seeing some green, but notice embedded within some of the green.
Okay. 3 officers shot. Oh, a U.S. Deputy Marshal and 3 officers shot. Where can I get the download information on the story? Let me check out if there's anything popping off on Twitter. Yeah, somebody left me a note. Active shooter now. Trending. Let's see what's going on. Where's it at? It doesn't even have a blip in the news. Oh, here we go. Here we go. 4 officers down. Holy moly. Check this shit out. Let me show you guys this. What in the heck is that? Like a Bearcat? Please check Discord. Okay.
screen, it's from a ring across the street from a neighbor. They've given us permission to use these images, but in that green box, it is a person with a gun. So this is from the perspective of a neighbor with a Ring doorbell, and they always capture those images. So there's just one of the still pictures that we've seen. We're waiting to get the video, but that is what the scene looked like from a neighbor's house. So very scary. And they reported that they can hear gunshots. We've heard that people have heard streets away from this 5,000 block of Galway that they could hear gunshots.
That's right.
And the helicopters and the sirens and scared to come out of their house.
That's right. And we do want to remind folks that if you are in the area, you are urged to continue to stay in your homes because police say this is still an active scene and they are concerned for safety for folks in this area. As we mentioned, of course, we're still waiting to get...
And scared to come out of their house.
That's right. And we do want to get more insights from that video. We will continue to bring that to you. So we will go ahead and move on to another one of our crews on the ground there. Our Colin Mayfield has gone out to the operations center.
Hi, Colin. What were you able to gather in the last hour or so?
Hey, Vanessa and Jane. Yeah, not much on my end. We did notice that there are a lot of people on their porches, on the sidewalks, headed out from the plaza. The plaza behind us even itself is still pretty backed up, so please stay away from this area. We're still seeing Snoopy above us, CMPD's helicopter circling this area multiple times. So this is continuing to be an active scene. As you said, 4 officers hurt in this investigation, one of those being a U.S. Deputy Marshal who is in surgery at this time. We did pass Briarwood Elementary School, and I got to say, the line of parents try to get in to get to their students. It was very long, and it still seems to be that way on the plaza at this moment. So as we continue to be out here, we'll continue to tell you that please stay out if you can. CMPD will hopefully update us in the next hour or so with some updated information, but this scene continues to be active, and I'm not sure we're going to be going anywhere for quite some time. Vanessa and Jane.
All right, thank you, Colin, for that update. Traffic is moving behind Colin a little bit there along the plaza. It was loosening up in some areas. He mentioned Briarwood Elementary. That was one of 4 schools, according to CMS, that was under a modified lockdown.
Wow. Let's just take out some of the official alerts here from CMPD News. The threat is isolated to the area of the 5,000 block of Galway Drive. We asked the residents in the neighborhood to continue to shelter in place. That was 36 minutes ago. The area is still an active scene. Please continue to avoid. That was 20 minutes ago. Media staging 2 hours ago. Numerous law enforcement officers struck by gunfire in active situation in the 5,000 block Galway. Avoid this area. Many roads are closed for faster ambulance transport. Please cooperate. Okay. Multiple victims transported to nearby hospitals. Wow.
Transpired around the 1 o'clock hour involving U.S. Marshals Task Force, which was trying to execute a warrant at a home in this neighborhood and unfortunately resulted in gunfire.
So they had a warrant?
Marshals Task Force, which was trying to execute a warrant at a home in this neighborhood and unfortunately resulted in gunfire.
We're serious about bacon.
Police officers say fired upon them and injured what we're hearing at this point 4 law enforcement officers.
So really, we are coming up almost on 3 hours since we started gathering the information, little information that we could from this active scene. Right now, let's go to our Jesse Pierre, who is at that media staging area of the plaza. Jesse, what can you tell us?
So yes, we are here at the staging area, and things are still getting set up, but as of right now, CMPD says they are waiting for things to stabilize before they speak. The message is still the same for folks to stay away from that immediate area on Galway Drive. We're actually the staging area right off of the plaza and Milton Road, and just about a mile away from this active shooting investigation. So not too far away. Police just overall saying that, you know, folks should avoid the area, even though the active shooting investigation is contained to that neighborhood. If you do live in that immediate area, you should stay home. Now, again, there are still some closures that folks need to be concerned about. So I actually spoke to a couple of people who were parked in this lot and just kind of waiting or weren't able to get home. I spoke to one father. He was waiting for a lockdown to be lifted from his child's school before he can go and get his child. So, you know, this is kind of an area where folks have kind of been, you know, hanging until they can get to their home because of the closures and because of just the activity going on. So again, the message from CMPD right now is just to stay away from the area. Again, also to keep the roadways clear. We have police officers who are working and trying to get their job done, and then ambulances making sure that they have clear paths to get where they need to go. And when it comes to using public transportation, this is a busy road, but you know, you could be facing some delays. So if you're waiting a while for, you know, the bus and so forth, you know, it is because of all of this going on. You know, we have learned that at least 4 members of law enforcement were shot and taken to the hospital. A few people that I've spoken to in this lot, this media staging area, just sending their support, hoping those officers are okay as well. But, you know, we're just kind of waiting to get more details from CMPD. They said that they will give us a heads up, hopefully a day away.
Okay.
Nigga, they busting.
Oh, okay, let's check this out, guys. On this article, they have some clips from people.
Nigga.
Oh, God.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I'll fix this, though.
Get over there. Officer shot. Suspect barricaded himself in the house. SWAT's up there around the corner. You can't see SWAT because we're not allowed.
I saw that earlier.
Nigga, they busting, nigga. Oh my God.
Get over there.
Is the Citizens link still active?
They don't want to say.
That was that one.
Were the words used to describe his condition, as well as 3 other officers who were part of this task force, possibly with local agencies who were assisting the task force, who were wounded as well.
CMPD just seems to be putting it out there constantly that this is still an active scene. They want to emphasize for people to avoid this area, but it is isolated now to this area, whereas an hour or so ago it was had a rippling effect. You know, the plaza is very close to here, as well as a lot of other surface streets and businesses surrounding this East Charlotte neighborhood. So it is to this area, but people there told to shelter in place, as well as avoid the area if you can. And a lot of people are curious and they want to get through, but they kept media away as well because this is still quite dangerous potentially.
And now you mentioned the proximity to the plaza. That is where we find our
Got a
Kayla
lot of people
Hagwood,
here.
who's been
What's
able
up?
to
What's
report
up?
on some of what she has been seeing, at least from
I'm
her
so
perspective, this area
discombobulated.
of the
I'm sorry.
plaza.
Yeah, guys, I mean, when we talk about Galway Drive, that's actually 4 or 5 minutes away from where I am here on the plaza, and still you can see a scene is set up on this street. This is actually really a mild version of what we have been seeing all day. Traffic was not really able to pass through this area of the plaza in so many different areas of town. We talked about how I-77, or a part of it, had been shut down for a period, as well as other roads near this area, and it raises so many questions as to what exactly happened in this case. Normally when we have a scene or a SWAT situation, as we did see SWAT who was out here earlier today, it is isolated to one area, and so we know that Galway Drive is where this all got started, related to a warrant, and U.S. Marshals working to issue a warrant whenever that shooting took place. But still so many questions as to why there are so many, and I don't even want to call them mini scenes, because this is obviously a large police presence in other places. For neighbors who live in this area, because this part of the plaza is just a series of different neighborhoods. Briarwood Elementary is tucked away here, and a lot of parents were leaving with their kids in the bus lines with so many questions, concerned about exactly what took place in this incident. But the people who live in this area, I think Colin mentioned it, folks have just been kind of sitting out on the porch. Some folks have come out and got their cell phones, taking videos, wanting to know exactly what took place here. I spoke to a woman who said that she was just concerned for her kids. She has her kids inside, and she's just watching, because really that's all that she can do. So many folks, watching us, watching from their vantage point of where they can see. Imagine how it would feel for a family to be told, hey, you need a shelter in place, and not really having those answers. So of course we're hoping to get more clarity on exactly what took place. I spoke to another neighbor who said he heard 4 to 7 shots around 1:45. Still waiting to get more details from CMPD on exactly when this all unfolded and exactly what happened. But I can tell you, about an hour ago, we were just a short distance further along on the plaza, and we actually saw what I believe, or what smelt to me like some kind of gun smoke or powder, something like that. It made a huge haze in the air, and it really, I was choked up as I was walking away. We tried to get to a safer location. Helicopters up above. There's still at least one copter above the location where we are right now. And so there's so many questions into exactly what took place in this incident. And as we talk about these emergency crews, they'll have a long investigation up ahead, because while there are law enforcement officers now in the hospital fighting for their life, there's still a long investigation piecing together exactly what took place here. And that work, I'm sure, will go well into the night, guys.
Kaylin, thank you for that perspective there of the plaza. Like she said, 4 or 5 minutes away from the scene there on Galway Drive, but that's just the effect that it's had here in the East Charlotte, if not pretty much the whole Charlotte metro.
That's right. And as we approach the bottom of the hour here, we want to take you back out live here to the area near the scene. So this is near Galway Drive, and we do see a very heavy law enforcement presence out there, as well as we can see emergency responders like Medic, who has an ambulance staged out at this scene. And we are just waiting for more information directly from CMPD, but they have promised to give that information when, in their words, the situation
I don't know if this is true. Somebody on Twitter is claiming the U.S. Marshal died.
Officers, local police, that officer told NBC News. Local police could be CMPD, could be other law enforcement from our local agencies here in and around the Queen City. But we do know now 4 officers have been shot, and the degree of their injuries is what we're working and waiting to hear more.
Let's see if we can get some confirmation.
And just a reminder, of course, we're mentioning this U.S. Deputy Marshal who was there on scene. We were told by CMPD that this all sparked from a U.S. Marshal's task force operation that was being executed there on Galway Drive at a home. And this was a task force involving not only U.S. Marshals, but also local law enforcement. And apparently during the execution of this warrant, they They say the suspect fired upon them, and that is how we arrived at the situation where we are at this time. Of course, still waiting for more details.
And our Colin Mayfield is at the media staging area, also waiting to hear more information. Hi, Colin. What can you add to the what we know now?
Yeah, no new details to share. We're still at the media staging area in a Family Dollar parking lot along the plaza. Behind me, you can see Cats, the bus, right on time. Hopefully you can hear me. I'm going to continue my report, but the CMPD helicopter does continue to circle. It does seem like it's an active scene. I was saying, I'll wait here for the bus to pass. I was saying about 10, 15, 20 minutes ago that when we came through the plaza and turned on this side of the plaza now, the scene directly behind us, a couple of maybe a mile away or so, there were a lot of people on the plaza still. Briarwood Academy seemed to be opening up. Obviously CMS released those kids and lifted those lockdowns, but parents were still trying to turn right or left onto the plaza, which was still jamming things up here. Now, as we see it, a lot of people have been coming to this car wash or this Citgo. I think people are still trying to figure out what's going on. Kaylin alluded to a lot of folks just kind of scurrying around their property or maybe just kind of staying out on their porches. That's still happening, and I think folks are just trying to understand, what's going on. You alluded to it, Vanessa, the police presence. We haven't seen something like this. I haven't seen it in my career as well, especially here in Charlotte. So this is a serious situation, especially as you've said multiple times. NBC News reports now that potentially 4 officers were shot and injured. So we'll continue to keep it locked here on the plaza and wait for any new information from CMPD.
Thank you so much. And we'll remind folks that Colin is actually at the spot. We've dispatched him there intentionally at that location because that is where CMPD presumably will give us the big update when it comes. They've promised to give us a heads up, and of course, we'll bring that to you when it happens.
Still looking at a live picture right now from our crew on scene, close to the main part of the scene, Galway Drive, 5500 block of Galway, where all of this unfolded in the 1 o'clock hour. Large presence there. We can see the front end of the fire truck, as well as medic with their flashing lights, and then several CMPD units blocking off that street. So they continue to put out there the message that they want people to avoid this area, even though the threat has been isolated now to just the 5500 block of Galway Drive.
And so we're seeing with our very eyes, of course, the road closure there on Galway, but our KJ Jacobs has been following other reported closures or areas where you're seeing it will be a trouble spot for folks as we do get closer and closer to the heart of rush hour. So KJ, what are you able to share with us?
That's right, Vanessa and Jane. This event happening right now is having huge implications on traffic across the area. We've felt the impact over the last couple of hours now, but now that we know more information and that it's mainly confined to Galway Drive, folks trying to get home, if you're live streaming us or if you want to leave home, perhaps get to work or get out for this evening. Yeah, we just saw a person walking in the neighborhood, probably because they can't drive due to those road closures. So taking it to the immediate area for Galway Drive and some of those nearby connectors, you can see Shannon House Drive, road closed at Galway Drive and Grafton Drive. Ruth Drive, this road is closed from Kerry Lane to Galway Drive, and at Galway Drive we have a road closed from Ruth Drive to Denson Place. So some people, I know when we cover severe weather events, say if there's a tornado or roads are blocked due to downed trees, people can drive as far as they can, they get out and they walk the rest of the way, and sometimes you have to walk home. So this may be one of those situations. In order to get to your house due to those road closures, you just may have to walk. If you want to leave, have someone pick you up, perhaps that is an option as well. But right now, near the immediate scene, we do have these ongoing road closures in and around Galway Drive due to this investigation that is ongoing, guys.
And I think, of course, it's important to remind folks that at one point we did have majors that were closed and backing up. So we saw a lot of issues with Independence and with 77. And as someone who was prior done traffic reporting, I know that sometimes it can take a while for that stuff to recover. So I would just urge folks to make sure you're planning, even if you're not going to be in that immediate East Charlotte scene.
All this stuff.
Absolutely. And now it's mixing in with the afternoon rush. So I can't imagine it improving anytime soon. I want to show you an image now. This is from a neighbor's ring doorbell, and you can see there in the middle of your screen, it's outlined in a green box. That is a person with a gun, according to the neighbor. We're waiting to get the video from them, but that was what they were looking at. So quite a scary scene in the heat of the moment this afternoon as it was unfolding there in this suburban area of East Charlotte.
And just a reminder for folks, we've showed this image before. We are working to get the video itself. The neighbor has given us permission to show the still images, and we're working to get the video. So perhaps a full video could give us more insight into what we're actually seeing on the scene. We're unable to confirm, is this the so-called suspect who was involved, the person who was having the search warrant executed on them? We don't know any of that information. All we are getting are kind of piecemeal updates, images, anecdotal information from neighbors, but we wanted to share with you in real time as we're getting these details.
We've heard from a number of officials, including Representative Alma Adams. This is her district. She posted an hour or so ago, I've been made aware of the active shooter incident on Galway Drive in East Charlotte and am in touch with local law enforcement and the mayor's office. I am praying for the injured officers and their families.
We also have from Senator Tom Tillis weighing in an attack in Charlotte on our brave law enforcement officers who swore an oath to protect and serve us all. Susan and I are praying for everyone's safety.
And Governor Roy Cooper also posted on social media, I am in contact with law enforcement concerning the tragic shooting in the Charlotte area, and we have offered state resources to help.
We also hear from the York County Sheriff's Office, so a law enforcement agency in the Charlotte metro, but not necessarily in Charlotte, correct? Right? Yeah, York County. I mean, they just say that they are ready to assist their brothers and sisters at CMPD any way they can. And so they say here that the sheriff is monitoring the situation and they are praying for positive outcomes. And we had mentioned this before, but it is not unusual to see aid come in from partner agencies or neighboring agencies when we have a very impactful situation like this. I can harken back right to the South Park fire. That's probably the largest scene that I have in my recent memory, where we had Charlotte Fire, but also a lot of neighboring agencies who pitched in to help because it was such a large scene. And even in the days to come, because we know that this is going to be a staffing impact, a staffing toll, an emotional toll to CMPD, and so they might need some support in the coming days.
As we've been reporting, up to four law enforcement officers may have been shot. That's why we have both our Austin Walker as well as Julia Kaufman posted outside hospitals. Austin, outside of Novant. You've been seeing a little bit of activity in the last hour or so. Austin, what can you tell us now?
Yes, we've been on scene for about an hour and a half outside of Novant, where we've seen the area change almost every 5 or 10 minutes. So we first got here, and it was a sea and a slew of cars. I just want to show you that video, what you saw when we first got here. You can see police officers and state troopers racing through this area all along that road into the hospital, also out of the hospital. Now, with that being said, we've seen a lot of different agencies in Novant coming to the hospital itself. We've seen a bunch of CMPD cars as well as state troopers, Mecklenburg County Sheriffs, Charlotte Fire, and many more agencies also here. We also did see crime scene investigators also outside. But if we take a look right now, very different than from an hour ago. As you can see behind me, still CMPD and Charlotte Fire still on scene. I'm not sure you can see a little bit farther, but if you go past that biggest tree in the distance, there are about 5 to 10 CMPD officers outside. They have created a perimeter in this area, so we cannot get up there. We've been trying to ask Novant for any information because we do know somebody, one of the individuals that did get shot, is in surgery. We asked if they are in surgery here at Novant, so they've directed us back to CMPD and are now anxiously awaiting for any updates. Like Jesse Pierre has said, they are still trying to get the information in order, and they're trying to make sure everything is cooled down so they can give all of the information at one time, so it is extremely organized. But again, we're outside of Novant Health, where we did see a very big scene, a very big presence. That was about 45 minutes to an hour ago. Since then, it has died down. This area at the Caswell intersection and Randolph was a parking lot at some point. A lot of cars jam-packed and slammed together in this area. Not much movement, but again, now, as you can see behind behind me, it is moving rather smooth. But as we hit that 5 o'clock hour, as those are trying to get home from work, that could be a different scenario. So stick with us right here at WCNC.com and on air at WCNC for the latest, so you can plan out your day and we can keep you informed along the way. But for now, we are live from Novant. Austin Walker, WCNC Charlotte.
Thanks a lot, Austin. We have seen, he has seen a lot of troopers go to that scene, as well as other emergency responders. This video from earlier today, when things really were getting heated and people, first responders were going to that scene there at first in Galway Drive.
And we'll remind folks, right, we've been watching this scene now, the situation unfold for probably about an hour at this point. And over that period of time, we have seen so many developments, so many different impacts from this one scene in East Charlotte, the ripple effect. So right, as we watch this medic ambulance ushering what we presume might be one of the officers who was wounded off to the hospital, we saw road closures. We saw major roadways closed down, big backups as they tried to close off these roadways and make way for these emergency vehicles to get as promptly as possible to the hospitals where once again we have our crews stationed. We have folks over at Atrium Health. We have folks over at Novant Health. Both crews reported seeing patrol cars there and different law enforcement response in those areas. So we continue to monitor from those scenes. And as we approach here, the quarter hour, 4:45, we will just remind folks that once again, we are keeping an eye on this scene involving what we're hearing could be 4 law enforcement officers shot.
We heard from Austin outside of Novant Hospital. Julia Kaufman's been monitoring things outside of Atrium in the Dilworth area. Let's check in with Julia right now. Jul?
Hey guys, yeah, we were here about an hour ago when traffic was really backed up around Atrium Health. Intersections were shut down by police, leading to the emergency room. Driving by the emergency room, we did see officers patrol cars there as well, but now things are moving much better. Of course, we have the typical rush hour traffic in the Dilworth area around Atrium Health, but right now it seems the intersections are back open. This is what it looked like about an hour ago when we were trying to inch by to get to the media staging area of Atrium Health. As you can see, cars were backed up, police had intersections shut down, and that was so that emergency vehicles could get to the hospital as quickly as possible. As we know, numerous officers were shot at the scene, so they wanted to make sure things were clear so they could get the help and the medical treatment they needed as quickly as possible. We did ask Atrium Health if any patients were transported here from Galway, and if so, how many. They could not confirm. They can't share any information with us, really. We've asked several different questions, but they referred all questions to Medic, and Medic is referring us to CMPD. So as Austin said, we're all anxiously awaiting an update from police, but as we know, they have their hands full, and it seems like many inside the hospital may have their hands full as well. So we'll keep an eye on things and let you know if we have any updates soon.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Julia.
And we just heard from CMPD posting again on social media. This is just their continuing message that this is still an active scene. It's on your screen right now. You can read it. Please continue to avoid the area, referring to the 5500 block of Galway Drive in East Charlotte. All confirmed information will be released by CMPD Public Affairs as it becomes available. Just posted at 4:44. Now we are 4:45. So following this now for about 3 hours.
That is correct. 3 hours, still waiting for a whole lot of information. We are getting piecemeal information, not only from CMPD, but also various law enforcement officials who have been confirming things to NBC News, our crews on the ground who are confirming visual information that they are seeing, that they are able to confirm to us and relay back to us. As we take you live out to Galway Drive, a quick recap of what we know so far. Around the 1 o'clock hour, U.S. Marshals were out with their task force at a home in this area when they say a suspect fired upon them, injuring multiple officers. officers. And Jane, we've heard once again some of the piecemeal information trickling in since then.
Right. We don't know if it was one person with a gun or if it was more than one person. But again, this happening in the 1 o'clock hour, and that this has been a dangerous situation. So CMPD telling people to stay away from this street, although they have just now isolated the threat to this one neighborhood street on Galway Drive.
Yeah, folks, they are being urged to continue to shelter in place if you are a neighbor in this area. And we'll remind folks, as we are kind of sitting in a vacuum of information, we are seeing that there are folks who might be reporting other things, maybe purported eyewitnesses, if you will, reporting different figures, different numbers of law enforcement officers who might be shot than we are. We are only going to report what has been confirmed to us.
Yeah.
We want to get over to Austin Walker.
Yeah, they're saying here on WSOC-TV, sources, Marshall killed, officer shot while serving warrant. Marshall killed. Oh, man. That is so crazy because, you know, they went to go, I guess, serve a warrant, or it was like they were trying to serve a warrant in a neighborhood along the Galway Drive. So they said it happened while the U.S. Marshals Fugitive Task Force was trying to serve the warrant. So, I mean, they probably would have came prepared, armed, I'm thinking. But, you know, of course, I guess not expecting. And it seems like this guy was waiting on them and prepared and shit.
All lights and sirens, a lot of different agencies across Mecklenburg County seen at Novant Health. Again, we saw CMPD, Charlotte Fire, Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Department, state troopers, and much, much more. Crime scene was also on scene at the hospital. Again, we're just trying to learn more information and bring that to you as soon as we learn more. But for now, again, we're at Novant. Austin Walker, WCNC Charlotte.
Also with the very latest observation there at Novant, and just the latest tweet now from CMPD saying that the CMPD SWAT team is still working to clear the residents. Residents should expect to continue to see a heavy police presence in the area, posted at 4:36 as we continue to wait for a press conference from.
Okay, so we're waiting on a press conference. Let's see what else we got. This is this other camera. I took it off the screen for a little bit, but they have fire department there too.
But you're in the area and you are still able to see a whole lot.
Yeah, 5 minutes away from that area where they say that this all started, when that warrant was issued and the shooting started to take place, and yet there are scenes in other areas. I mean, this is the plaza near Briarwood Elementary, and you can see officers still out there working this scene in quite large numbers. And this is actually smaller than what we saw earlier. This road was blocked off probably about an hour or two ago. Traffic able to move through now at a pretty steady rate, and even the elementary school able to let out after CMS had a lockdown issued. It's been pretty scary for folks who live in this area. I spoke to one person who said that he heard 4 to 7 gunshots, still unclear exactly what took place, and that was really sort of the scary part. I spoke to another person who said that they were just concerned about the violence, seeing the helicopters and being informed of all of this from people who live in the area, calling them to ask, are you okay? I want you to hear from one woman who I spoke to. She didn't want to show her face, but she just kind of shared sort of the fear for herself and her children as they watch the scene unfold.
My understanding that chaos happened with maybe a neighbor who shot back at a cop or something of that magnitude. I know, of course, if it's all these cops' cars, again, it has to be something serious. But from what I've heard from other people, that some stuff happened with the officer shooting some officers, unfortunately.
And I want to walk you guys through what today has been like, because as you see these different areas, and we have been here since this all started just hours ago, it can maybe feel like, especially if you're driving through town, that things are somewhat calm, but that is not the case. This has been complete chaos is the best way to describe it. All this happening as many kids were just letting out of school. And you just saw officer after officer as we were trying to get to the scene. We were blocked on road after road. I blocked at one point during today, and families stopping us in our news vehicle asking, what is going on? Do you have any answers? At that time, all we could tell them was that it was an active investigation. You know, we get a lot of reports into our newsroom, and we want to make sure that we're accurate in what we're sharing. And so that's why, as Vanessa was telling you, that we want to make sure that we're sharing you nothing but the facts, especially as the situation develops. But I can tell you right now, here at this scene, it's still very active. We know that multiple law enforcement officers are in the hospital. We know that this all started as they were attempting to serve a warrant for an individual or maybe multiple individuals. And we know.
CBS and ABC on the way to the bear. Oh, wait. Oh, they tranquilized them? Oh, no. Hold on. What's going on with the bear? We got to see the bear chase. Is there a live thing right here? We got the chopper? Oh, it says we'll be right back. ABC on the way. Okay, I guess we have to wait. It says watch live, but they're not showing anything right now. KTLA. We're going to have to switch up this whole stream for the bear. For some reason, they're not showing live feed, even though it says live. KTLA, watch. All right, maybe we have to give them a minute, see if they get there. Oh, that's a picture of the bear, though. Oh my gosh. Let's see if I can download it and show you guys. Hell to the no.
Absolutely, Vanessa. Right now, we are pretty much in the thick of it all. This is where it's all happening. We are on Kildare and Joyce Drive. Very, very active scene. Heavy police presence. I'm going to step out of the way just to give you a better perspective of what we are looking at. Now, we did speak to some neighbors who are still waiting to go home, who live on this street. Some of them say they heard the shots when they first rang out. I spoke to another neighbor who said she was picking up some of her kids from school, seeing lots of police cars swerve over into the lane, trying to get here to this scene. Some folks say they heard gunshots in this neighborhood, and it's pretty common, but they say they've never seen a scene quite like this before. We still have folks parked over in churches, parking lots, and hanging out on the outer skirts of this area until all of this calms down. They say this is a pretty scary scene, especially for it to happen so close to home. Now, as of right now, we haven't gotten a lot of details about when this road will reopen, but of course, as we continue to learn more, we'll be sure to keep you updated. Reporting live for WCNC Charlotte, I'm Tradisha Woodard.
And we are waiting for that press conference from CMPD, Tradisha, to get more of those details about this incident that all unfolded around 1 o'clock, 1:30 this afternoon. We've been on it since about 1:45 as we heard that shots were fired and officers were fired at, not knowing at that time the extent of their injuries.
That's right. And we've been waiting ever since for CMPD to provide a fuller update. They've been primarily concerned, it seems like, with securing the neighborhood itself, with the safety of the neighbors around this home where this warrant was being executed. And so we are hearing they're continuing to echo this message of stay in your homes if you're in this area, be safe, do not try to come to this area if you don't have to be here. As you can see, this is a massive scene, and we are, of course, waiting for the updates from CMPD, but have heard from NBC News, who has confirmed with 2 law enforcement officials familiar with the situation. A U.S. deputy marshal was among those shot today while this warrant.
It's really crazy, man. So like the times that we're in, it's just nuts, bro. All right, let's take a look at this bear thing in the meantime, because we're waiting for a press conference, maybe. In the meantime, though. Anybody see the bear? Where's Waldo? Let me hide this. No, it's an apartment. It's a bigger apartment. Thank you for the 6 months, TT Cross. Bigger apartment, so I'll have a computer room, a man cave, a YouTube room by itself. Just want to pop in and check on this chopper. Marie, thank you so much for the 10. Thank you for the super sticker. There's a bear on the loose. Oh, bear in a tree. 25 minutes ago, they said bear in a tree. He just came down as I started the feed. In Castic. Not the bear. Sky 5. Okay, I think we might have a different feed now. I think. Or is it the same thing? Oh, we have... Okay, it's the same thing, I guess. They're having signal problems. I feel like KTLA always has signal problems. You gotta upgrade to the 5G. Somebody earlier was asking if the suspect is caught. I don't believe so. I don't know. It's still an active scene, they said. It's not cleared out. Oh, Grady just did a presser? I saw a snippet of when Grady was holding like this gang jacket. And he's like, you're not allowed, anybody outside of it or whatever, you're not allowed to touch it. And so he's just like tapping on it. You're not supposed to touch this, like right here. He's like mocking the gangs and shit. Crazy. Night of the Grizzlies? No. Yeah, this is great. Okay, well I can show you guys a video of the bear running around. Wilson sent it. They're leaving? I guess it's back to the shootout then. I mean, the arrow's going on with the standoff. Okay. Take this off.
Tough condition right now, tough medical condition.
Right, fighting for their life.
How long would it to shelter in place?
I've been told.
Clear and safe.
Emergency personnel clear now at the Hawthorne and Elizabeth Gold Line will also resume. So as the situation stabilizes, a word that CMPD used, it seems that public transportation will get back online here, as well as streets will reopen. Although the residents or Galway Drive, that 5500 block of Galway Drive, south of Milton Road, that will remain closed. And as we saw from the scene there, it was very...
And there's another post from CMPD News. It says that the residents on the Galway Drive is now clear and the area is safe. Residents no longer need to shelter in place. At least one shooting suspect was located deceased at the residence after clearing the scene. CMPD is questioning 2 other occupants of the home. CMPD and other law enforcement agencies will be at the scene to conduct investigation. Some roadways in the neighborhood will remain closed. Okay.
So far as things have been confirmed, and we've witnessed things with our own eyes, but 1:45, you could see that is when CMPD issues this severe alert. So this is when we start to realize that there's something very serious happening. You see around 2:08, we're hearing of multiple victims being transported, and then at 3:12 is when we hear impacts to local schools. So we had 4 schools that went under a modified lockdown, Jane.
Well, that's right. Finally lifted at 3:41, so just before 4 o'clock, with parents trying to get their kids, and then CMPD just clearing the residents here in the last few minutes on that 5500 block, saying that the suspect has now been deceased. Let's go to our Austin Walker, who is outside of Novant, monitoring things. As we've heard, 4 officers were shot.
And so we'll remind you, Austin was reporting on seeing multiple crews coming in. There you are. Austin, we can see you now.
Yeah, hey guys, as you said, we've been here for like an hour and a half, just monitoring the situation. Things have changed and calmed down quite a bit. I'm going to show you what it looks like right now, and as you can see, it used to be a grid of traffic. Not many things were moving in this area, but within the last 45 minutes, that has thankfully changed. But if you zoom in to Novant, you can actually see emergency personnel are still on scene. CMPD is here, as well as Charlotte Fire. At one point, we saw the sheriff.
Make sure you guys subscribe as well. We're at 20,600. Subscribe.
8 troopers just zooming into the hospital. At the same time, many people and law enforcement agencies also moving out very quickly. We're actually in the corner of Caswell and Randolph, again, just off of that Novant Health campus. Again, it was very, very hectic out here at one point. A lot of people trying to wonder exactly what was going on. We do know that one of the individuals who was shot, they're in surgery right now. We're not sure of that condition as of right now, but we asked Novant if how many or who was taken to the hospital from that scene, and they did not confirm with us. They said that more information should be coming, so we'll make sure to update you when we learn more. They actually directed us also back to CMPD, and again, we are waiting for information from CMPD at this point. But just to run you through it, again, we were outside Novant, where we saw a very big presence from multiple agencies across the county and in the state. We are going to continue to monitor this location in this area and bring you the updates as we learn more, so you're well informed. But for now, we're live at Novant. Austin Walker, WCNC Charlotte.
All right. Thank you, Austin.
And CMPD again tweeting just in the last few minutes the latest what's happening in that East Charlotte neighborhood, saying that the residents on Galway Drive is now clear and the area is safe. Residents no longer needing to shelter in place. At least one shooting suspect was located deceased at the residence after clearing the scene. CMPD is questioning 2 other occupants of the home. CMPD and other law enforcement agencies will be at the scene to conduct the investigation. Some roadways in the neighborhood will remain closed. Please remain patient and cooperate with officers. An update will be provided in a media briefing as soon as possible. But that shelter in place, again, has been lifted.
Now, of course, very interested to see if we start to see a dispersal of some of the law enforcement presence that we're seeing in a wider radius from this scene, because as our Kaylin Hagwood had pointed out before, she said 5 minutes away from the scene over at the plaza, and she was still seeing a lot of patrol cars out there and
a lot of trolls, right? I don't know what's going on, man. Where these people come from? Let's see what else we got.
To move away from this. Can you guys hear me?
I hear you, girl.
If you guys can hear me, we definitely have seen a clearing in quite a bit from law enforcement from this area on the plaza near Briarwood Elementary. Quite a bit of progress when it comes to getting these cars back up and moving after what was really, a better word to describe it, but a chaotic start to the day. If I take you through exactly what we experienced, I mean, just hours ago, this road was blocked off. We wouldn't have been able to even get this close. And as we were just a little bit further away, we were concerned for our own safety, because there was so much going on. There were helicopters up above. There was a medic mass casualty bus. There were state troopers who were here. Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office was here, and as well as multiple CMPD officers and just law enforcement flying through the street as safely as what they could to get to the scene after we learned that multiple law enforcement officers had been shot while the U.S. Marshals were working to serve a warrant And as more details come in, now we know that the media team over there doing what they can to try to get us that information after what was really a very scary circumstance for folks who were just passing through and neighbors alike. I want you to hear from one of the folks who lives in this area about what that experience was like for them.
I understand it. Say chaos happened with maybe a neighbor who shot back at a cop or something of that magnitude. I know, of course, if it's all these cops' cars, again, it has to be something serious. But from what I've heard from other people, that some stuff happened with the officer shooting some officers, unfortunately.
Yeah, folks.
All right. I guess that's it. The scene is cleared. If there's a press conference later, it seems like there is going to be. I'm not sure at what time. I'll jump on this channel. But since now I got a lot of ish to do with this apartment thing, I think we need to start getting ready, I guess. With all the movers, I still got to sign some more paper. It's just ridiculous. It's like buying a house or some shit. I don't know what's going on just for an apartment. Well, I did, yes. We got approved. Finally, after all this notarizing and all this stuff. 828 Caroline, thank you for the 6 months. Does anyone see the bear? So there's a clip. Let me show you the clip before I go. There's a clip showing the bear. Let me just double check ABC too to make sure that they're not there, I guess. This clip here. There's the bear running around. Running. Run! Thank you, Miss JMD. Congrats, Bello. And your awesome lady and Maddie the best. Thank you. It's probably going to be a stressful couple of days, maybe, while the move happens. But once I'm in, I'm pretty happy about the extra space, and even just being able to have a separate room for YouTube is going to be nice. The balcony's bigger, the kitchen's a bit bigger. So I think it'll be better. Last I heard, Wilson said this bear was tranquilized, so I don't know if it had any effect. Still running. What's going on? That looks like a small bear, I guess. Yeah. I know, right, Chaos? Another move. Jeez. Oh, yeah. So there was an update too on the kidnapping hijack stuff. So, I want to take a little break, but we can come back. I don't know if I should do it on this page or the main page. I feel like if I don't do it on the main page, people are gonna miss out on it because there's still people that don't realize I have a second page. Some people don't. So maybe let me set it up right now. Right. True. Chaos. And I think they locked it in for the cheaper price, is what she told me. So that's good too. Because if they raised the price, I don't think I was gonna get it. Go live. Let me schedule. Okay, view settings. Okay, so I want to schedule a stream Let's see what time on the main page. I want to take a little break. So let's do 7 o'clock in 2 hours. And I'll redirect you guys over there so you know where it's at. 7 o'clock, we'll do an update on the hijacking, the kidnapping, Florida. I don't even know how long it is. Let me see. An hour?
Again,
Jesus Christ. Oh, it looks interesting. Okay, so I thought it was going to be like a 30-minute thing. So we'll be back for an hour at 7 o'clock. And let me just redirect you guys. Boom. All right. I will see you guys in a little bit. I'm going to move everybody over. Marie, I've been missed you, Mel. Been very sick respiratory wise, but all is good now. So good to feel ready to participate again. Oh, I'm glad you're back. I hope everything, you're getting better. Stupid thing. All right, guys. So yeah, I'll catch you in a bit, in 2 hours, the kidnapping update. All right. Thank you so much. Peace. Bye. Bloop, 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 bloop. See you in a little bit.